Good morning, students. Welcome. We will discuss today basics of power system. You know already myself Vishnuvardhan, having more than 10 years experience. I taught two subjects, control system and power system. I trained more than 50,000 students across the country in last 10 years. Now I am more active in online platform. So please subscribe to my channel. Please share and like, and also be continuously watch my videos in order to get the best results. Okay, today topic is going to be basics of power systems. Now let's start the session. First we need to discuss about single line diagram of electrical power system. The most fundamental thing in electrical power system or first electrical equipment in electrical power system is generator. Every electrical equipment in power system is always represented by certain ratings. Even you go to certain shop, any consumer while purchasing a lamp or bulb, he will check what is the rating of this bulb. It is 60 watts or 40 watts, work for 230 volts, single phase, 50 hertz or not. Similarly, each and every electrical equipment in power system is represented by certain ratings. Let assume our generator is represented with power rating as 100 megawatts and its voltage is generating 22 kilovolts and operating at 50 hertz frequency, and this is a three-phase system. What do you mean of this? At any instant of time, the amount of power is generated by the generator is 100 megawatts. At any instant of time, the amount of power generated by generator is 100 megawatts, generating 22 kilovolts and operating at 50 hertz. Once we generate the power, definitely we are going to utilize the power. The utilization of power is at consumers. We can simply, the consumers also called as load. Let us assume I am one of the consumer. At my home, I have a lamp with rating 40 watts of power, works for 230 volts, operating at 50 hertz. Obviously, it is single phase system. I am also using fan in my home. Let's say the rating of the fan is 80 watts, works for 230 volts, operating frequency 50 hertz. Obviously, it is single phase. Suppose if anybody is using air conditioner in their home, no doubt the rating of the air conditioner is more, which is let's say 2000 watts, works for 230 volts or 440 volts. If it is single phase, 230 volts. If it is three phase, 440 volts. But operating frequency is fixed, which is 50 hertz. Either it is single phase or three phase. Okay. Now whatever the power we are generated by the generator is 100 megawatts, is going to consume by the lamp as 40 watts, is going to consume by fan as 80 watts, is going to consume by AC as 2000 volts. Now the amount of power is generated by generator is 100 megawatts, or we can say the lamp that can consume is 40 watts, or the fan that can consume is 80 watts, or that AC is consuming 2000 watts. Now what is my point is, the amount of power over a period of time is calculated as energy. Mathematically, energy is represented by W, is integration of P into dt. It is calculated over a period of time, that is from 0 to certain time, that is t, where P is nothing but power, W is nothing but energy. Over a period of time, the amount of power is calculated as energy. I think you studied this as in networks. Now, second basic point, what is installed capacity in electrical power system? The installed capacity meaning in electrical power system is sum of arithmetic ratings of all generators which is installed in all power plants. By 31st March 2021, the installed capacity in electrical power system in our country is 382.15 gigawatts of electrical power. You know, dear friends, 1 gigawatt of electrical power is equivalent to 1000 megawatts. And also, you know, 1 mega is equal to 10 lakhs or 10 power 6. In Telugu film industry, Chiranjeevi is the one of the megastar. As he is becoming more popular, that's why he's also got the name as megastar. Mega means big. Like in power system, mega means not big. It is also big value, which is 10 power 6. Now, the total installed capacity in electrical power system 382 gigawatts, approximately 382 multiplied by 1000, which is 3,82,000 megawatts approximately as of 31st March 2021 or 2021. From this, I need to tell one fact that India is becoming third largest producer of electricity in the world, also third largest consumer of electricity in the world. Now, this much amount of installed capacity we are generating by which power plants, sir? Maybe this is you have a question. 53.1% of electrical power among this is generating from thermal plants. In that fuel is coal. You know very well. 1.6% of electrical power is generating from lignite. 13.5% of electrical power is generating from hydro plants. You know very clearly, in hydro plants, the fuel is water. 10.3% of electrical power we are generating from solar power plants. 10.3% of electrical power we are generating from wind power plants. 2.7% of electrical power we are generating from biomass. 6.6% of electrical power we are generating from gas power plants. 1.8% of electrical power we are generating from nuclear power plants. 0.1% of electrical power, that is 3,82,000 megawatts. It is a total installed capacity. In that 0.1% of electrical power are installed capacity through diesel plants. These are the installed capacities or arithmetic sum of ratings of all generators which is installed in all power plants. This is the complete figure. Still, we are generating more than 50%, more than half of the power through thermal. I can say in future this percentage will reduce from thermal plants. Why? Because India is now more concentrated on solar power plants. In the last few years, the percentage from the solar plant is increasing year by year. Therefore, in future, our syllabus also changes towards more about solar in the case of generating stations. And also interesting, most of the amount of power every year is increasing from the wind power plants also. I can say year by year we are generating power from thermal plants may reduce, and year by year generating power from the solar plants may increase. This is the one of the most important point that you have to remember, please. Now, why electrical energy is having more importance? The reason, dear friends, no doubt coal, water, biomass, whatever the energy is available, etc., are in the form of mechanical energies. That means in this world, the direct available energy is mechanical energy, but electrical energy is directly not available. This is the disadvantage. But in case of mechanical energy, it is advantage. But even though mechanical energy is directly available, why people are not much interested in mechanical energy? Why people are having more interest on electrical energy? The reason behind this is we can transmit electrical energy to very long distances in bulk amount of power with minimum losses. This is the biggest advantage. Once again, I am repeating, electrical energy can be transmitted to very long distances in bulk quantities with minimum losses and in also economical manner. This is one of the most important point for developing countries like India. The economical factor also most important. And second important point is the coal, water, biomass, whatever, all these energies can be easily converted into electrical energy. Once again, we can get any other energy from the electrical energy, right? Any energy can be converted into electrical energy. Once again, electrical energy can be converted into any other energy. The interconvertibility of energy is possible only through electrical energy, through medium of electrical energy. Because of this advantage, this world is looking about electrical energy compared to mechanical energy, right? Now, you have a question, sir. The available mechanical energy is in the form of mechanical energy. Then, how to convert into electrical energy? Now, you have a question. For that, we have a simple diagram. The simple diagram is this is speed governor. I will explain this later. This is mechanical energy or mechanical input. Speed governor is going to be connected to prime mover. Prime mover is also called as turbine. This prime mover is mechanically coupled to generator. From generator, we can generate electrical energy. So these are the equipments. Just it is a brief diagram, not a depth diagram. We'll discuss in depth when the topic starts. Right now it is in basics. So the direct available mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy with the with the help of this diagram. The speed governor is going to control the steam input or mechanical input, which is going to give to prime mover, also called as turbine, which is mechanically coupled to mechanically coupled to shaft. The shaft is connected to generator. Now generator is generating power. There are two kind of generation of power. One is AC generation, other is DC generation. Now you have a question, sir. AC generation of power is most popular compared to DC generation of power. What is the reason? This is one of the most interview questions. Basics are more important. In every interview, you can find these basics. I will explain why DC generation have certain disadvantage compared to AC generation in order to generate bulk amount of power. First, you have to remember one point, that is India have largest number of consumers. Reason population is heavy. You know what is the reason why population is more? As population is more, number of consumers also more. Automatically, demand of the power also more. When demand for the power is more, according to that we can generate bulk amount of power. This is most important point. Bulk amount of power we need to generate always. Reason, demand is more from the consumers. As consumers are more, demand is more, obviously we need to generate bulk amount of power. In order to generate bulk amount of power, DC generation have certain disadvantage. The first disadvantage is we required large size of commutator. Maybe in machines you studied, we required a large size of commutator which is more costly. This is the first disadvantage. Second, as size of commutator is more, its mechanical losses also more. Efficiency of the system reduces. When efficiency is decreased, it is undesirable, and cost also increases, it is not economical. Because of these 2 points, we are not interested to generate DC generation of power while we are going for bulk amount of power generation. Now it is very clear we are going AC power generation to generate bulk amount of power. How you are generating AC power? This is important question. The AC power can be generated by using two generators. One is constant speed generator. Second, variable speed generator. Constant speed generator, example synchronous generator, are also called as alternator in machines you studied. Variable speed generator, example asynchronous generator, are also called as induction generator. In wind power plants, we are using induction generator to generate electrical power. What is the reason we will discuss? And thermal plants, hydro plants, we are using alternator or synchronous generator to generate bulk amount of power. What is the reason we will discuss. Just now I have explained by varying speed governor, the steam input to the prime mover or mechanical input to the prime mover is controlled in order to control speed of generator for varying load conditions. You believe or not, always load is varies. Why? Because different consumers are using power at different times. Therefore, at the load side, variations are possible always. According to that, we need to vary the steam input in order to maintain synchronous speed. For that, we are varying speed governor so that steam input to the prime mover also varies in order to control speed of the synchronous generator for variable load conditions, which is called as synchronous speed. Dear friends, in case of wind power plants, it is not possible to control the input, that is wind. Why? Because wind flow is different at different times. Therefore, it is not possible to control the input in wind power plants or wind. That is the reason why wind power plant generators are not constant speed generators. For that, we are using variable speed generators, which is called induction generators. Induction generators. So it is very clear. We have understand right now. In order to go for bulk amount of power, we are using AC power generation. In that, wind power plants we are using induction generator. Remaining power plants we are using synchronous generator. As most of the power we are generating from thermal, therefore most of the power right now in the country is generating more from the alternator or also called synchronous generator. Therefore, we need to discuss more about synchronous generator in power system. Anyhow, you discuss the characteristics of synchronous generator and induction generator in electrical machine, but in power system discussion, I will use more synchronous generator. Why? Because most of the power right now is still generating through synchronous generator. That is the reason I can utilize synchronous generator to discuss more about power system, right? Now, consider a thermal plant, one of the thermal plant which is having installed capacity of 1000 megawatts. Dear friends, let's take one metro city as I am living in Bengaluru. In Bengaluru, right now the demand is 600 megawatts. The load demand right now in Bengaluru is 6000. I'm sorry. Right now the load demand at Bengaluru is 600 megawatts, but the installed capacity of the thermal plant is 1000 megawatts. See, it is very clear. Load demand is less than generation capacity. Whenever load demand is less than generation capacity, in order to maintain synchronous speed, we need to reduce the generation of power to 600 megawatts by using speed governor so that steam input will be reduced, which is equivalent to load demand. This can maintain synchronous speed. Suppose evening time demand of Bangalore city is increased suddenly, let's say to 1200 megawatts. Right now load demand is more than generation capacity, installed capacity of the thermal plant. At the time, I cannot increase installed capacity of the thermal plant because I fixed that plant to work always for 1000 megawatts. That is a maximum capacity or maximum installed capacity. I can't go beyond 1000 megawatts. So at the time, forcefully with the help of relay and circuit breaker, I need to disconnect some of the area, some of the load under certain area which is not important or whichever I feel, right? So at the time, relay and circuit breaker is going to disconnect some of the load. We can reduce the load to generation capacity to that is 1000 megawatts. In this way, we can maintain synchronism. Now, generator have two parts. One is rotor winding. Second, stator winding. Both stator winding and rotor winding is separated by air gap. Rotor winding is excited by separate excitation with the DC supply. For stator winding, we are giving three-phase AC supply. That's why synchronous generator is also called as doubly excited machine, whereas induction generator is single excited machine. Transformer also single excited machine. Maybe in machines you'll study all these things. The rotor of a generator is mechanically coupled to shaft. In previous slide I have explained. The rotor of a generator, if you see here, the rotor of a generator is mechanically coupled to prime mover. Prime mover is nothing but turbine. And it is separated from stator through air gap. I have explained in this slide. This rotor winding is separated from stator winding through air gap. The rotational energy of the rotor is able to convert into electrical energy by using air gap flux produced by separate excitation is given to rotor field winding. Once again I am repeating, rotational energy of the rotor field winding is able to convert into electrical energy by using air gap flux between stator and rotor windings. produced by separate excitation of the rotor field winding. For that we given DC supply. Now my question is, this stator winding is single phase winding or three phase winding, which we need to confirm right now. If you go for single phase winding, area of cross section of conductor or winding is 2 upon V square cos square phi into K. This area of cross section is designed for a single phase 2 wire. When we go in depth, we will understand all these formulas. Now, area of cross section for three phase wire is 0.5. For three phase winding in the single phase is 0.5 upon V square cos square phi into K. This is the formula for three phase 3 wire, where P represent phase, W represent wire here. Now, what is K is area of DC2 wire. If you see, dear friends, area of cross section of winding is more for same operating voltage and same power factor. Here it is value is 2, here value is 0.5. Area of cross section of winding is more in case of single phase 2 wire, but area of cross section of winding is less in case of three phase 3 wire. Whenever area of cross section of winding is less, automatically cost of the conductor also minimized, which is more economical. Therefore, we can generate three phase power instead of single phase power. When we go for three phase power, first advantage is reliability of power generation is more or increase compared to single phase. Now you have a question, sir, how reliability of power system is increased in case of three phase power generation compared to single phase? All three phase systems, any three phase systems, in case of machines or power systems or power electronics or entire electrical energy or entire electrical power system or entire electrical engineering, any three phase system is designed with three single phases. All three single phases are identical in design. Suppose if any one phase get damaged, we can maintain or we can generate or we can maintain the power system by other two phases. Therefore, reliability of the power system increases. But in case of only single phase, if this phase get damaged, we can't maintain the power system. That is the reason why reliability of three phase power generation is more in case compared to single phase power generation. In three phase system, all three phases are identical in design. Whenever they are all identical in design, physically we represent stator winding by only one line or one phase. Only one phase. The reason, if you discuss about one phase, it is also explaining about other two phases. This is the advantage. Practically it is three phase stator winding, there is no doubt. We are not decreasing, we are not increasing the number of phases practically. But when we go for analysis in power system, always you please remember throughout the discussion, stator winding is physically represented by one phase but not by three phases. Reason, all three phases are identical in design. Even you represent by one phase, which is explaining about other two phases. Now, the simulation diagram of synchronous generator I am going to draw here. What is the meaning of this? We will discuss in depth when we go for single line diagram. By this symbol I have used here, I will explain in case of single line diagram. This is synchronous generator represented by stator winding is represented by only per phase. Synchronous generator is represented by E at an angle delta, where E is induced EMF, or also we can say it is generated voltage. Delta is load angle or power angle or torque angle. Dear friends, this is rotor winding of synchronous generator. This is stator winding of synchronous generator. There is air here. Please understand here. This is stator winding of synchronous generator. This is rotor winding. There is air gap between these two windings. This dotted line is explaining about rotor rotating axis, and this dotted line is explaining reference rotating axis. The angle between reference rotating axis to rotor rotating axis is also represented by delta in power system. What is delta in power system? In case of power system analysis, delta is called load angle, power angle, or torque angle. But in case of transmission and distribution, delta having another name. At the time I will explain what is the delta. Right now in power system stability analysis or power entire complete analysis, delta is called load angle or power angle or torque angle. This delta is the angle between rotor rotating axis to the reference rotating axis. In machines you studied delta also angle between induced EMF and terminal voltage. That is also correct. Induced EMF and terminal voltage. And what is the relation between rotor rotating axis and reference rotating axis in case of fault analysis? We will discuss at the time. You will also understand that machine language as well as power system. Both are correct. Both are same. Right? Now, my question is, it is very clear stator winding is three-phase. Reason we are generating bulk amount of power through three-phase and reliability of three-phase power generation also more. Let us move. As stator we discussed right now, it is a three-phase winding. How many possible three-phase windings are possible in power system? The first one is open winding. In three-phase it is possible. And second, closed winding. There are only two possible connections in three-phase. The open winding is also known as star winding and closed winding is also known as delta winding. This is delta winding representation. This is star winding representation. If you see here, this is the winding. Winding is represented by inductance. Reason resistance negligible in power system. We will discuss later. Sorry. This is star winding. Now, it is represented by R. It is represented by Y. It is represented by B. Dear friends, in many textbooks, different representations are there, but I am following standard representation. What is that? RYB. R represent RYB is nothing but colors. These are the colors of insulation on the conductor surface. R represent red color. It is red color of insulation on this conductor. On this conductor surface, we filled with yellow color of insulation. On this conductor surface, we filled with blue color insulation. So these are the standard notations that we are going to use. Even not only electrical engineer, common man also should understand what are the phases, what is the neutral, what is the ground. For that we have given these representations. RYB is used for the representation for phases. R is nothing but red color, Y is nothing but yellow color, B is nothing but blue color, not black color. So these are the colors to represent the phases in power system. And B for black, another B for black. Black, always highlighting between so many people. Also, if you use black color of marker, it is more visible and exists for a long time. Now, dear friends, black color insulation is always representing it is a neutral wire. And one more is there, G for green is always used to represent grounding wire. So please remember these basics. In some textbooks, they have represented three phase by ABC. That just for only for understanding. In some textbooks is represented by XYZ. Instead of RYB, they have used ABC or XYZ. Representation changes, but meaning is remains fixed and constant forever throughout the world. Now we discuss stator is a three-phase winding for generator. Then which winding is suitable? That is star winding is suitable to design the stator winding or delta winding is suitable to design the stator winding. Right now we need to understand. Before going to understand whether it is star winding or delta winding of stator of synchronous generator, we need to understand two things. One is balanced, other is unbalanced. These are the most fundamentals before going to understand the subject. Let us assume friends, in case of ideal, current in R phase is 10 amperes. Current in Y phase is also 10 amperes. Current in B phase is also 10 amperes. The magnitude of current in all three phases, R phase, Y phase, B phase, is 10 amperes. Now my question is, this is 10 amperes current. In this phase also 10 amperes current is flowing. In this phase also 10 amperes current is flowing. Now, if you take R phase as reference, it is 0 degrees, and Y phase as reference, it is 120 degrees phase displacement. From R phase as reference, R phase to Y phase 120 degrees, R phase to B phase 240 degrees. Even though current flowing through all the phases is remain same as in magnitude wise, but there is a phase displacement. 10 amperes 0 degrees, 10 amperes displaced from R phase by 120 degrees with respect Y phase is, B phase is displaced by 240 degrees with respect to R phase. You know, network analysis you studied, sum of the three phase currents IR plus IY plus IB equal to 0 in case of balance condition. How it is we will see right now. Now R phase current 10 at an angle 0, Y phase current 10 at an angle 120 degrees, B phase current 10 at an angle 240 degrees. If sum of these three currents is 0, then we can say the system is under balance condition. Now convert this polar form into rectangular form. 10 multiplied with cos 0 plus j sin 0. 10 multiplied with cos 120 plus j sin 120. 10 multiplied with cos 240 plus j sin 240. Cos 0 value you know very clearly it is 1. Sin 0 is 0. Therefore it is only 10. Cos 120. Cos 90 plus 30. Cos 90 plus 30 will become sin 30, but minus sin 30. Minus sin 30 is minus 1 by 2. Sin 120, sin 90 plus 30, which is cos 30. Cos 30 is j root 3 by 2. Plus 10 into cos 240. Cos 180 plus 60. Cos 60, that is 1 by 2. Sin 180 plus 60. Minus sin 60. j root 3 by 2. Minus j root 3 by 2 plus j root 3 by 2 cancels. Sorry. Cos 180 plus 60, which is third quadrant, minus cos 60, minus 1 by 2. It is 5. It is also 5. Minus 5 minus 5 minus 10 plus 10, which is equal to 0. Now you have to understand, whenever sum of the three-phase currents is equal to 0, which means it is in balance condition. Balance condition is explaining that there is no current is flowing to neutral, to ground. This is called neutral. From this, grounding is possible. We can use different materials to ground. If you use here winding, that is called reactance winding, grounding. If you use resistance here, that is called resistance grounding. Simply if you connect it to ground without anything, that is called solid grounding. If you are not grounding from neutral, that is isolated grounding. Four groundings are possible, but practically we are using resistance grounding for improvement of stability. But in case of fault analysis, we are using reactance grounding, but that is not in case of practical. Ideal discussion only we are discussing about reactance grounding, but stability point of view in practical we are using resistance grounding. Generally we are using resistance grounding practically with high value of resistance in order to improve the stability. How it is we will discuss in practical. Now this is about balance condition. Next we will go for unbalanced condition. So far we discuss ideally. Right now I am going for practically. In case of practical power system, even though current in R phase is 10 amperes, Y phase slightly deviates, let's say 9.7 amperes. B phase slightly deviates, let's say 9.8 amperes. R phase, if you take reference, it is under 0 degrees. Y phase with respect to R phase is displaced by 120 degrees. B phase with respect to R phase displaced by 240 degrees. Now if you go for here, IR plus IY plus IV, sum of the three phase currents is not equal to 0. Why? Because magnitude of all three phases in practical conditions are always not equal. Therefore, sum of the three phase currents will not become 0. We can say this is unbalanced condition. Now you have a question. Sir, practically you are saying system is always under unbalanced condition. Ideally you say system is under balanced condition. Why this unbalance occurs in power system? This unbalance occurs in power system since the generation of power is in three phase, but maximum loads are single phase loads. I am using lamp in my home, that is single phase load. I am using fan in my home, that is also works under single phase load. Maybe in agriculture purpose three phase loads we are using, but majority of the consumers are using single phase load, but even though power generation is three phase. Therefore, this situation is creating unbalanced condition. Because of this unbalanced condition, circulating currents will flow between three windings. By that, heating of the machine will increase. Whenever heating of the machine will increase, insulation may fails due to more heat. Whenever insulation may fails, it leads to short circuit fault in power system, which is most dangerous. In order to overcome all these things, grounding is necessary. For that, we are selecting stator winding as star winding, but not delta winding, because in delta winding, common point is not available between these three phases. There is no common point for all these three phases. When there is no common point, there is no neutral, but there is a common point in star winding. Automatically neutral is available. For that, we can give grounding, which is called neutral grounding. When there is a neutral grounding, that neutral grounding will bypass or discharge the circulating currents due to unbalanced conditions, or also it can bypass the fault current when short circuit fault occurs in power system. In practical, 99.99% in transmission line the faults are short circuit faults compared to open circuit faults. But in underground cable, open circuit fault may occur, but most of the power we are transmitting through transmission lines. Therefore, with respect to transmission lines, short circuit faults are more common. In order to bypass the short circuit fault to ground, at the time also neutral grounding is necessary. Now it is very clear. Synchronous generator is synchronous generator have two windings. One is rotor, other is stator. Stator is designed with three-phase winding. That too star connected winding, but not delta connected winding. Right. So up to now we discussed the basics. We will continue remaining basics. Thank you, dear friends.